right, real wealth, real life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. He's your host.
All right, my beautiful people, thanks so much for tuning in to the new Black Wall Street Money and Power. We take a look at what's happened today in the news as we look at the economics, and we also look at the politics. Again, the economics is the money flow. Politics is the rule of the money itself. So we want to look at those together. Of course, those are two subjects that we've been taught not to talk about. We've been taught not to talk about money and not to talk about politics. Well, we're going to be talking about it here today, and I see that many more people are getting more interested now that we got a guy named Trump, a clown in office. So anyway, today's episode is brought to you by True Detergent. That's right, TRUE. It is a Black-owned manufactured detergent here in the Atlanta area. This is a 101-ounce bottle. Gives you 101 loads for $15. That means you're paying 15 cents per wash. And so you actually can get this through us here. We do free delivery in the Atlanta area. You can give us a call at 678-851-2400. Again, that's True Detergent. Have you made the switch? All right, so here's the deal, guys. What's going on, Anthony? How are you? Talk about what's happening in the market today. I also want to give you a quick update on what's going on in the village. Tonight we have our marijuana session. So if you had signed up for that before it got sold out, make sure you check your email because that's where you're going to get your connection or your confirmation to log on, all your login information. Also, tomorrow and Thursday we'll be rolling out our Club Millie rollout plan again. Tomorrow begins Black History Month, but it's actually Black Wealth Month. We're going to be making history. So we'll be rolling out that plan to all of you guys. We're going to be doing it for the whole month, every Wednesday and Thursday. So you want to make sure you get your seat at that table so you can see what we're doing to help 1,000 people save and invest $1,000 this year. We already got people that's signing up, so you want to make sure that you get you go ahead and join the club. And then on Saturday, this Saturday, we got our stock market one-on-one class. So if you're a person that's been saying, hey, I want to learn about the stock market, I don't understand the terminology, I need to know what to do. Well, this class is going to do this, give you the 7 steps to earning your first stock. We're going to walk you through so you can be able to buy your first stock. And hopefully you can get it by Valentine's Day. Why not? We are actually just set up a Valentine's Day investment session. So we're going to be talking about the impact of Valentine's Day on the market or on particular stocks. So that's going to be a great time for us to actually have a conversation about money. And that's the deal, guys. It's all about, we got a money club. We got money conversations. Hey, we're just attracting more wealth to us just by talking about it. Anyway, let's see what's going on in the market today. It's been a pretty subtle day, but still a lot has going on. Of course, today in the market itself, the Dow, which is the top 30, the 30 most significant stocks in the United States, companies like Nike, Apple, it was down today 107 points, so it's still trending downward. We had hit that 20,000 point barrier, but we're back down to 1985, something like that. The Nasdaq was up one point today in the S&P 500, which is a collection of 500 stocks. It was down 2%. The big news is that Under Armour, Under Armour was down 23% today. So some people lost a lot of money today who might have had Under Armour, or some people made a lot of money if they actually played Under Armour to actually decline or short Under Armour.
All right, so going straight ahead.
So just real quick with Under Armour, you know, if you don't know, Stephen Curry and Tom Brady, they actually represent Under Armour. So they both endorse Under Armour, but winning ways aren't helping the company right now. When I took a look at Under Armour, I saw that the CEO, Kevin Plank, has been selling shares off for quite some time. So that's a big indicator if you are watching the stock to see what's going on with the CEOs, the directors of the company. What are they doing? If they're selling, it's not a good sign more often than not. If they're buying, that typically means that they believe in the company and in the direction the company is going. We haven't seen any buying from the directors or the insiders of Under Armour. And what's funny about it is ever since they started selling, the stock has been tanking. So I don't know. Does that mean anything? Probably so. So the sportswear company reported sales and earnings that missed forecasts. It also said revenues of 2017 will be lower than what Wall Street expected. So not only did they miss earnings, which is last quarter, they lowered their guidance or their outlook for this year. So no one in Wall Street likes to hear you're not going to be doing better this year than you were last year. So you know, talking about 25% loss, a decline in one day. That is like historic almost. I mean, I don't know if somebody got 100%, but typically you might see 10%, you might see 8%, but 25%. Oh my goodness! Whoever got Under Armour is hurting in their soul right now. And the company said its chief financial officer was stepping down for personal reasons. So not only did they miss earnings, not only did they lower the guidance, but their CFO, the chief financial officer, is quitting. Not looking good for Under Armour. Wall Street often assumes that an executive leaving for personal reasons is a sign that the company's in trouble and someone needs to take the fall. Under Armour tanked on this trifecta of bad news. Shares plunged nearly 25% early trading on Tuesday that put the stock on track for its worst one-day drop ever. Under Armour CEO Kevin Plank, who was the part of the group of business leaders assigned to President Trump about economic policy for U.S. manufacturers, said in the earnings announcement that there were numerous challenges and disruptions in the quarter. Many big retailers, most notably Macy's and Kohl's, reported weak results for the holidays, leading investors to wonder whether the American consumer is in trouble or if traditional retailers are just losing more ground to big Amazon. Under Armour has been hit particularly hard by the problem facing brick and mortar retailers, especially those specializing in athletic wear. Sports Authority went out of business this year. Finish Line closed 100 stores, hundreds of stores last year. The poor start to 2017 for Under Armour is even more troubling when you consider how awful a year the company had in 2016. The stock plummeted nearly 30% last year because of weak sales and the broader challenges in the athletic apparel industry. Nike didn't do that well last year either. They also had a dismal 2016. In fact, it was the worst performing Dow stock last year. So Nike didn't do well. And if Nike is leading the market in the athletic apparel industry, then more often than not, those that are in that industry aren't going to do well either. So not a good year last year, but Under Armour starting off this year, not good at all. So if you got some Under Armour, woo! Oh my goodness. So hey, what's going on, Cookie? Jay Bird? Are you Jay? Is that Jay? It's probably what it is. Tasha. So she asks, is it a good time to buy Under Armour? I would say you want the chart tells you when to buy. That's what I can say. The chart tells you when to buy. Right now, we don't see any turnaround. Obviously, a 25% drop in one day is pretty significant. But I would be more apt to wait till the dust settles to see, because what we could be looking at is it could stop right here and then do a lot of sideways consolidation. But we need to see the turnaround in Under Armour. They had a bad year last year. They got a bad quarter this year. The CFO quit. What's going to be the good news? You know what I'm saying? What's going to be good news for them? They're expecting this year to be. They already said they don't expect this year to be well. So they already told their investors don't expect much. You don't expect much. It only takes one good quarter to, you know what I'm saying, to see your stock up 5%, 10%. So I would be waiting to see if it settles here before I get in. I would be waiting because it still could continue to drop. I'm waiting on the momentum. I'm waiting on some indicators to tell me, okay, the bleeding has stopped. The bleeding just got started. So, but 25% one day is significant. So if I was a short-term trader, I would probably be looking for that bounce if I was looking for something real quick. But I'm a long-term trader, so I'm waiting. But depending on what your style is as far as trading is concerned. But great question. Okay, that's what's up, Jay. So other news that's going on in the stock market today. We also had it was a pretty ho-hum day today. Thermo Fisher was up 6%. Varex was up 5%. Mallinckrodt up 5%. Under Armour, again, the big loser. UPS was a big loser today, 7% down for UPS. Valero Energy, which is another energy oil / company. If you ever went to a Valero gas station, they're down 3%. And Pentair, which I don't know what they are, they're down 3% as well. The top performing stocks, the top performing sectors over the past 3 months are still transportation is number one at 19%, finance 15%, communications 12%, health services 11%, and electronic technology 11%. So this is kind of give you an indicator of the sector that you kind of want to be in. Now, what's at the bottom? Retail trade is down at the bottom. Consumer non-durables, utilities, those are down at the bottom. Those are not areas or sectors that you want to be in right now, unless you're looking for some type of long-term bounce or something like that. Gold was up 6% today. Silver was up. I'm sorry, not 6%. 0.06% today. Silver was up 0.18% today as well. Oil was flat at 52.80. So oil's been still hanging around at $52, $53 range. Still flat there. The volatility index is at 53, so it's dropped. So people get more and more fearful in the market right now. That means there's more and more selling. That's why we're seeing, these drops from 20,000 points down to 19.8. In other news, here's some good news. Apple crushed earnings again. So I know plenty of you guys got Apple. You are feeling good about this. Apple crushes earnings and their iPhone sales. This was the historic quarter for Apple. They had their highest ever quarter in sales and also the highest ever quarter of iPhone sales. So great quarter for Apple. Apple crushed all expectations on its first quarter earnings on Tuesday. Shares were up nearly 3% after hours. Apple saw $78.4 billion for revenue on expectations of 77.4 and reported earnings of $3.36 per share on expectations of $3.21. Crushed earnings. More importantly, iPhone sales exceeded the high hopes Wall Street had for in the quarter, with 78.3 million units sold on predictions of 76.3. So they beat by 2 million on iPhone sales. They beat by 1 million on their revenue, and they're up 15 cents on their earnings per share. It was Apple's highest quarterly revenue ever, and iPhone's biggest quarter ever. I love to hear when I'm invested in something and I hear these like historic numbers, like ever. That's always good news to an investor. Ever. Highest ever. So whoever's in Apple right now, you are feeling pretty good. You are feeling pretty good, baby. In fiscal 2016, Apple suffered its first annual decline in both revenue and profit since 2001. It was withering end of the year. So what happened in 2016, it provided an opportunity. Again, Apple being the biggest, largest company in the world, they didn't have a great year in 2016, but still wasn't bad. It brought a pullback on Apple, and it provided people with an opportunity to buy into Apple. And now Apple is right back to what they do, which is kill earnings. Clearly, Apple is starting fresh in 2017 thanks to a smash hit 2016 holiday season. And I think this year is the 10th anniversary for the iPhone. So I'm pretty sure they're going to come out with something magical for this 10th year anniversary of the iPhone. So if you are an Apple investor, you are feeling pretty good right now. Also in the news, Uber. You guys like Uber. Uber has actually struck a deal with Daimler or Mercedes to add self-driving Mercedes-Benz to their fleet. This is interesting. Uber Technologies signed another deal with a major automaker as the popular rideshare service accelerates efforts to build out one of the world's first fleets of autonomous vehicles. Uber on Tuesday announced a partnership with Germany's Daimler, maker of the luxury Mercedes-Benz cars and trucks. And in the coming years, Daimler plans to incorporate its own self-driving Mercedes-Benz into Uber's growing fleet of self-driving cars. Uber did not offer a specific timeline. Daimler is the first auto company to join Uber as it opens up its platform for manufacturers to introduce their own self-driving cars. So here's kind of what we need to know, right? Uber, obviously, whatever we're on with the strike and all that stuff, boycotting Uber, but they still moving forward with technology. And if you are an Uber driver, this is not good news. You know, this is basically saying that pretty soon you're going to be extinct. So I hope you're starting to make your exit strategy. Your 5-year exit strategy, so to speak, is probably going to take about 5 years before they're having autonomous cars. Now, this is more specific to, I think, Uber XL, whatever the fancy line is for Uber. So if you are one of those drivers, you need to start thinking about what you're going to do, you know what I'm saying, outside of Uber, because they're trying to get rid of drivers. You know what I mean? Like, this is where the transportation is going. And I would say for any driver, if that's your job, if you are a driver, now I'm probably not a truck driver, but if you're like a courier or, you know what I'm saying, a pizza driver or something like that, these companies are serious about automation. So start preparing for other things that you can do to generate some money, because that's the way the world is going. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to the trend. That's all I can do is warn you. Don't say Brother E didn't tell you. All right, so again, we talk about economics, but we also need to talk a little bit about politics. And this is what's going on here with good old Trump. So not a whole bunch of news for Trump. He was expected to sign an executive order for cybersecurity, but that did not go. That did not happen. He delayed it for some reason. 1 second here. I had it up. Let's see if I can get back to it. He delayed it for some reason. He is going to I guess come back to it at some point. They didn't specify why they delayed it. Well, while that's waiting, all right, 1 second, guys. What is going on? All my stuff just went down. All right, so let's take a look here at something else then, because that thing is tripping. I was trying to get to my this thing be tripping. I was trying to get back to my associated stuff. 1 second, guys. Anyway, just kind of quick recap while I'm waiting on this stuff to load up. We have the we have Uber, who has struck a deal with Daimler to bring to get self-driving cars from Mercedes. You also have Apple, who crushed earnings. You have Under Armour, which just bombed today, 25% down. So it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to get this political information for you guys just yet. Let me see if I can go a different route. And everything is kind of slowing up here. Let me do it on my phone. I don't know what's going on. 1 second. See if there's anything you guys need to know. I don't know what's going on here with the good old PC. I think it's almost time here to look at getting something new. Okay, all of them are going down. Am I losing connection? I'll take my time. I appreciate it, TK. I'm trying to, man. I don't know what's going on. I've been having a little bit of trouble. It started going slow, and I reloaded it, and then it was fine. And then now it's going a little bit slow. It's probably just the internet itself. But if I disconnect, then that's gonna be the end of the show. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone though. I always say this when I go to the schools. I ask them. I said, "Do you have anything smart on your smartphone?" That helps. So the order department. Let's see if there's anything I wanted to talk about. Oh, so the senator. Oh, here what I want to talk about. The U.S. Senate approved Chow, this lady named Chow, to run the transportation department. Now, here's what I found out was interesting about who Chow is. All right, so I'm gonna read this to you. The United States Senate voted 93-6. 93-6. Like, these people are just, as much controversy as it was in their confirmations, they just flying by as far as approval is concerned. But anyway, 93-6. like everybody that Trump done sent up there. That's why I keep telling you guys, they work together. Like, we think they battling, we think that they're putting on the show for the American public. But when you got to vote, this is where it counts. When you got to vote, they say 93-6. That means there was really no controversy. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe the other candidates, whoever the other candidates were not that well. But this is what's going on. So we may look at the TV and we might see like Senator Warren going off on somebody, or we might see another Democrat going off on somebody or whatever in their debate. But when it comes down to the voting, 93-6. That's why I tell you, they work together. Don't think that they are not working together. If you guys are that naive, I don't know what to tell you. All right, 93-6 on Tuesday to confirm Elaine Childs, head of the United States Transportation Department, which oversees aviation, vehicle, train, pipeline safety. Child, former U.S. Labor Secretary and Deputy Transportation Secretary, will face key decisions on how to regulate the growing use of drones and automakers' planes to offer self-driving cars. She will also be a key player in Donald Trump's cabinet if his administration pushes ahead with a major infrastructure spending program, as the businessmen turned politicians promised during last year's presidential campaign. So Trump has promised this huge infrastructure spending. So what does infrastructure mean? So when I say infrastructure, guys, what does that tell you? That where money is going to be flowing for his administration. If they're going to be rebuilding, then you got. This is what I'm saying. Like, they're telling us exactly where we need to be looking at, watching, and investing. Right, infrastructure. That means that steel, cement, construction companies. You know what I mean? That's what the money, or the what you could say, not just the money, but the allocations of government dollars. See if I come back here. My goodness. That's where like allocations or government dollars are going to be flowing into. They're telling us where they're going to go. But here's what I thought that was interesting about this lady named Chow. Chow, listen to this. Chow, the wife of Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and the first Asian American woman to hold a cabinet position, also will have to decide whether U.S. fuel efficiency standards should be revised, and some automakers have sought. So this lady is the wife of a senator. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like keep it in the family. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, they are all buddy. They all are in cahoots. And we continue to think that they're fighting for us. No, they're not. They're ruling. They're trying to rule us. That's what's going on. Elaine Chao. Anyways, so there are a dozen other pending regulatory issues facing the next administration, including railroad safety. So railroad safety, staffing rules, and whether the rules require airlines to give more passengers with disabilities extra seat room. AAA, the largest auto club with more than 50 million members, praised Child's confirmation. But I wanted, and here's the other thing I want to talk about. Trump pushes drug makers to lower prices for United States production. So he's trying to bring competition, bring the big farm to actually be here in the United States. So President Trump, in a meeting on Tuesday with pharmaceutical executives, called on them to manufacture more of their drugs in the United States and cut prices, while vowing to speed approvals on new medicines to ease regulation. So we see the same thing. He's putting the same pressure on the pharmaceutical companies as he did with the U.S. automakers, right? So he's saying, hey, I want you to bring your business into the United States and manufacture here, and also cut your prices. And then he's going to allow, then they will actually loosen regulations for new medicines to come out. Now, there's a couple of things about that, right? When you start talking about loosening, speeding approvals, a lot of people going to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you could be approving something that doesn't work and that hasn't went through all of this testing phase. Be very, very careful when it comes to these drugs, guys. We're going to, if you come and do what we say, come here to the United States, cut your prices, we're going to speed approvals for new medicines. What? What kind of, that's how you negotiate? Really? Speed approvals? Do you hear what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. Trump told the government was paying astronomical price for medicines in its health programs for older, disabled, and poor people, and said he would soon appoint a new U.S. Food and Drug Administration leader. We're going to streamline the FDA. Something is really wrong here, guys. We're going to streamline the FDA, Trump said in a statement referring to the regulatory agency responsible for vetting the new drugs are safe and effective. Now, here's what he also did. If you remember, last week, he told the FDA that they couldn't transmit anything to the public. You got to read between the lines here, guys. This is not good. This is not good at all. I mean, from a competitive standpoint, from a standpoint of being able to afford these drugs, yes, that's a good thing if you can afford the drugs, but not if the drugs ain't really been through the proper steps to make sure that they're good for you, that they won't kill you. You know what I'm saying? They don't have too many side effects. The side effect could be death. You know that, right? I mean, come on. I don't take drugs, but I'm just saying, woo, this is not good. The meeting between Trump and the pharmaceutical executives signaled a diffusing of tensions that have kept drug stock prices in check since the presidential election. Shares of most of the group rallied on Tuesday following the meeting, even as the broader stock market slid. So, at any rate, just want to give you that news. I wish I could pull up my other stuff that I wanted to talk to you guys about, but for some reason, oh, here it goes. It's back up. Okay, good. Just had to wait a minute. Just had to wait just a second till that internet came on back in. But this is what's going on with Trump. So we just talked about Elaine Chao being sworn in. She was actually the deputy transportation secretary under President George H.W. Bush. So she's been in the game for a long time. So Trump is talking about, listen to this, guys. He's talking about investing $1 trillion of infrastructure to improve highways, rail services, and bridges. Again, that tells us where we need to be looking at. I mean, how many of you guys are starting to look into construction and manufacturing, starting to look at those companies, add them to your watch list, keep an eye on them. Steel, the good old American days of what is it? What's the guy name who had the big steel? Is it Rockefeller? Who had the big steel? Somebody tell me, give me my American history here. Was it Rockefeller who got big off of U.S. Steel? Was it Rockefeller? Somebody in the comments tell me who was the big businessman who got rich off of during the industrial age with the steel industry. I want to say it's Rockefeller, but I could be wrong. It's not coming to my head right now. If you guys know, or you can Google it real quick, let me know. All right. President Trump, you're right, Miss Evans, but they're going to start cloning humans for their army. I'm telling you, this is, we got to stay woke. He delayed his signing of executive order for the cybersecurity. I think it was one other thing I wanted to go over. He got sued. San Francisco is suing President Trump, claiming an executive order over immigration protecting sanctuary cities. So I talked about last week about sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities are the cities that are kind of like a safe haven for refugees. It's about 10 of them in the country. So basically it's saying that it's unconstitutional and severe invasion of the city's sovereignty. The lawsuit filed Tuesday says Trump is trying to coerce local authorities into abandoning sanctuary city laws and policies. The president signed an order last week to withdraw funding from sanctuary cities that declined to cooperate with federal immigration authorities. Now, look at this. You have federal law, you have state law. States should be, I don't know if it's the right word, but they should be able to operate and still up with their own laws, but still up under the federal, federal system. And the executive order was basically going to damage the state's ability to manage their state how they want to run it. As it relates to this federal immigration stuff. So that's, that does seem a little unconstitutional to me if you think about it, like how our states and our federal system is set up. It didn't specify what kind of money will be pulled, but San Francisco receives about $1.2 billion a year in federal funding. Now, here's what we found out last week. If the money is pulled from federal funding to these states, it doesn't just hurt the immigrants. It hurts the state as a whole. It hurts the poor people. Because these funds go towards the school system. It goes towards Head Start programs. It goes towards some things, public housing. This is where this funding goes. And so if they pull it from these sanctuary cities, then those cities, not only will it impact the immigrants, it will impact the poor people in that city as well. That's why this is such a big deal. Carnegie, Andrew Carnegie. There you go, TK. That's what I'm talking about. I knew somebody was in the building. Andrew Carnegie. All right. Thank you so much for that, because I couldn't think of it off the top of my head. Anyway, it looks like that's about it as far as what I wanted to talk about with the power part. And again, we got to start talking about money. We got to start talking about politics. I think many of you guys get more interested in politics now as you finally see a president, a reality TV president, and you're like, this cannot keep going on. So now you're getting a little bit more interest. So at the very least, he's prompted us to really start getting into politics, and hopefully he's prompted us to get more involved in our local government. But again, money, economics is the flow of money. Politics is the power of money. It's how money is actually relegated. So that's why it's important to know. It's important that you got to put both of them together. And there must be a reason why they don't want us talking about money and power or economics and politics. Anyway, that's today's episode, guys, brought to you by True Detergent. That's right. Black-owned and manufactured detergent right here. I'm in the Atlanta area. 101-ounce bottle here, $15. I mean, it's 15 cents per load. 15 cents per load. Of course, if you want to get this, you can get it through us. I do free shipping or free delivery in the Atlanta area, 678-851-2400. True Detergent. Make the switch. We have the marijuana session tonight. We also have the rollout of the Club Millie plan tomorrow and Thursday. So you can make sure you be there so you can see the whole vision on how we're going to help 1,000 people save and invest $1,000 this year. And then also on Saturday, we got our stock market 101 class. So for those that are saying, hey, I want to learn how to buy my first stock, we're going to do that for you. 7 steps to owning your first stock is on this Saturday So go ahead and get signed up. You go to www.ergj.net. You can also sign up for the Club Millie membership as well. And you go ahead and join us as we help 1,000 people save and invest $1,000. Well, hey, guys, it takes a village, and it starts with us. Let's build as we climb together.
Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We'll see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.